Welcome to Team Perry's Step Out of Line podcast, featuring co-hosts Perry and Lori Finkelstein. Together, they explore, meet, and share inspirational stories with guests who have made a positive impact in today's world. This podcast resonates with our hope to make this world a better place one step at a time through love, acceptance, and uplifting conversations.
Very handsome Ben Milliken, who I'm sure has a lot to tell us. We were reading about you. You're an actor, done writing. You've also been a boxer in a previous life, I know. And you seem to be taking Hollywood by a storm because you're able to do so many things that we were reading about. And I just finished watching Bosch during the quarantine. And then I read that you were in it, and I was like, oh my God. And you were in some of the scenes that I actually had to cover my eyes because they were too scary for me. Really good series, and back to what you did, and you were pretty awesome. So we want to hear, why don't you get started? How did you start? We know you grew up in Australia. How did you catch this acting bug?
So I think basically what happened was, I wasn't the most academic child out there. School, I didn't really agree with school all that much. And after I finished high school, I was kind of not sure about what I wanted to do. And I had zero clue. I had ideas about, what could be, I could do this or I could do that, and I'd like try it for a day and then it wouldn't work and I'd kind of stop. And then so shortly after that, I went and traveled around Europe for a couple months. I went and backpacked around Europe, and I was kind of able to see how huge the world is and how really, if you put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want. You just got to kind of go for it and give it a shot. And so then I started thinking back over my life, and what was the one constant thing for me that was always kind of there. And what was my passion? Because usually you're already doing your passion, if that makes kind of sense. And what I was constantly doing was watching films and television shows, and I was obsessed with them. Not just obsessed with just like watching them like in a couch potato sense, but more in like, I was fascinated by the fact that you could create an entire world, and really the only limits were your imagination to what could be created and put on the screen. And so that entire concept for me was it just fascinated me to see these entire worlds that someone thought of come to life on a screen. And then it was like, that's it. I'm gonna go for this acting thing. I'm gonna give it a go. So I found an acting class because I figured, if you're gonna do something, you should probably learn how. And then I found an acting class, and then the next thing I know, I'm here.
So you and 900 other million people go to Hollywood to make it big and famous. What was the moment that you realized that you were actually going to get somewhere with what you were doing?
I think my outlook is a little different, because I constantly don't feel like I'm in a position where I'm actually getting somewhere. You know what I mean? I always feel like I have to improve, and I always feel like I have to get better. And there's always something kind of next to kind of strive towards. And I've been so lucky and so blessed to have been able to have worked. Um, but I always feel like, you know, there's always more work to do, that I always have to be learning. I always have to be improving myself as a person and as an artist. And that's what I think is like, it doesn't allow me to stay still and then kind of look back and say, oh, this is actually working out. It's like, no, I've got to keep going. I've got to keep going. I've got to keep going because I need to get better.
So you've done a lot. You've directed, from what I read, and you've actually written and you've acted. What would you say is the most favorite project that you've done so far in your career?
Ooh, gee whiz. I mean, that's a question that I always have trouble answering because it's like every single project I get something different from.
Right.
So, say Bosch, for instance. Um, Bosch was one of the best experiences I've had on a television show. Just the way that that team runs things, the way that they orchestrate this extremely complex and well done cop drama, and they make it so human and so great. You know, to be able to watch the way that they do that, and then to be able to watch people like Titus Welliver, who plays Harry Bosch, to be able to watch him work and be able to see his process. You know, that was like going to school all over again. It was phenomenal, and such a pro. Such a nice guy. Also, on top of that, he's just one of the best guys that I've met in this business. So then there was that, and then the last film I did, Mighty Oak,
Right.
that was a completely different experience because I got to play a character that I had been feeling like I really wanted to play at that time. It was kind of the funny, happy, comic relief kind of character. And I was really looking to explore that side of myself and express it. So I was able to get that from it. So I really can't pick a favorite. I can just pinpoint the favorite parts of each.
I get it. We were talking the other day, which is our favorite interview, because we've done over 5 interviews.
Yeah.
And they're like all our babies. Like I
Yeah.
feel I can't pick one because we
Yeah.
got something different out of every one. And when you look at your body of work, you're very proud of it, but you can't pick a favorite. Okay.
Yeah. It's like trying to pick a favorite child. You can't.
Well, I have a favorite child, but no.
I do as well because I only have one.
Okay, I have 3, but I'm good.
Oh, wow.
It's so funny. Talking about how Perry steps out of line when she does the Miami Marathon, and she's raised over $600,000 with her team for charity. Lifeline. And it's something that's very close to her heart because she's been in the position where she's needed help and our family has needed help. And then as soon as Perry could give back, she decided, this is what I'm doing. So that's how Perry has stepped out of line in her life. Can you think of any point in your life where you stepped out of line, and good or bad, what had come from that? Was it what you expected? Did it open up a whole new world?
I mean, I can think of many instances where I've stepped out of line bad. We don't need to go into those. But I think I'm just kidding. I'm not being that bad.
So we've heard a lot. It's okay.
I think the biggest instance for where I've kind of stepped out of line was moving over here from Australia. In 2008, I decided I did this film in Australia called Newcastle, and it was making its world premiere in Tribeca Film Festival in 2008. And I decided I was going to come over for that. And originally I was like, I'm going to spend a month here. and, you know, then probably go home and try and get on with things. But I got off the plane in Los Angeles before I was going to go to New York, and I said to myself, I'm not going back. I'm staying here. And how I was going to do it, I didn't know, but I just knew that I was going to, and kind of just made the decision literally on the first day that I was here. Had I not done that, and had I decided to kind of stick to my plan and stay for a month, and then, you know, I would probably not be where I am now, um, because it's led to so many things. You know, I'm happily married. I'm actually about to celebrate my 10-year wedding anniversary. I have a 5-year-old son who is, you know, my absolute best friend, and I get to do what I love. So had I not made that decision, I'm not sure that my life would have turned out like this. I mean, I can't look at my life and say that this is, I love being alive. You know, I love it. And it's, I owe it to that one decision.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's crazy how just one choice can change everything.
Set your path. What do you see yourself doing in the future? Who do you want to work with? Is there a director that you say, wow, my dream would be to work with this person?
My dream would be I'd love to work with Tarantino, of course. I would love to work with Scorsese. I would love to work with, I mean, there are so many people that are just so influential and doing so many great things in film and television right now. But also I'm looking to become the kind of artist and creator that is constantly creating their own content. I have something that I'm currently working on getting off the ground, and hopefully due to once we're able to go back to work safely, etc. Hopefully we'll be able to get that going soon. But that'd be something that I will be producing and starring in. So that, I think, ultimately is my goal, and that's to become the kind of person that is a creator and also, you know, gets to work with great people and do great projects.
Would you, your son, he's going to grow up and he's going to say, you know, Dad, I want to be an actor like you. What's the first thought of your head? Don't do it. It's going to be so hard. Or
can you do something else? No, I think the most important thing for me is to do what I was lucky enough to have. And when I said that to my parents never they never questioned me. They sort of just said, if that's what you really want, then we'll support you. So I never had that hurdle or that hump to kind of get over, having to prove something to my parents when it comes to this. You know, I think if he came to me and told me that, I would support him. And I would also, you know, I'd let him know how much hard work it's going to take in order to do it successfully.
Right. I mean, but life in general is hard, especially, you know.
Exactly. I mean, if you're going to do anything, you got to work hard to be good at anything, really.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't have that. You know, a lot of people are always searching and always looking. And that's fine. You're lucky you're the type of person who found exactly what he wants to do, and the whole thing is open for you.
Exactly.
Well, I got to tell you, we're very big fans, and we can't wait to watch more and read more. and see more of what you're going to accomplish. Not such scary movies and shows, that would be great for me. But I do
Watch Mighty Oak. That's not a scary one. It's a really, really heartfelt family drama.
Okay, we'd love that.
Okay.
We'll watch that. She likes that.
You can get it on Amazon or Amazon Prime or Apple TV or Google Play
And how, I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I put on the regular television stations to watch a show. We don't.
Yeah.
I don't even think I don't even have regular TV. I don't think.
Because you're not missing anything. Maybe like even the ball game mostly because we're into baseball is on, cable. But like Amazon Prime has saved us, Netflix, like all of these amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you really can take your pick at whatever genre you want to watch. So it's just awesome. We're very lucky that we live in this world today, and we're very lucky that we had this during quarantine. I don't think many of us would have gotten through it as well as we did without have such a variety.
Oh yeah.
So we can't wait to see what you do. And we're going to follow you. We're following on Instagram. Hope you follow Perry. And great to meet you, and very kind of you to do this interview. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Can I just say what you are doing, Perry, is one of the most inspirational things. As I said before, I feel like I should be interviewing you. You're an inspiration. You really, really are. And you're changing the world. I'm just like, man,